Good morning to all. Kindly confirm the audio. All students, I hope the video has been switched on. Kindly confirm the audio. So, good morning to all. Thank you for confirming the audio. And last week we could not meet despite all the efforts. ऐसे लगा पूरी कायनात लग गई थी कि क्लास नहीं हो सकती है. So we'll talk about that also. If you have, we're meeting after a long time. If you have any doubts, kindly ask them so that we can start the class with the topic. कुछ है इधर चल रहा ऊपर. हाँ चला. ओके सभी को नमस्कार. एनी हेल्प रिगार्डिंग एसएस टेलीग्राम? बेटा वो एसएस टेलीग्राम, एसएस जियोग्राफी टेलीग्राम, वी हैव स्टॉप दैट इज योर आंसर. यार ये चैट ऐसे भागने लगता है कि कांट सी एनीथिंग. Telegram group is not there. And then what else? Audio video is fine. Thank you for confirming that. सर से मत पूछिएगा मिड क्लास में क्या नहीं पूछना है. फाउंडेशन बैच है उसमें टेलीग्राम ग्रुप है. हाँ कोई लेक्स का होमवर्क मिलेगा टेलीग्राम. ओके सो लेक्स का होमवर्क इज अ डाउट. व्हाट एल्स? हाँ जी. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट द क्लास. सो फर्स्ट थिंग इज अबाउट द टेलीग्राम ग्रुप. सो many people were saying कि डिक्शनरी नहीं मिल रहा है, डिक्शनरी नहीं मिल रहा है. तो we had put a dictionary in our a PDF of a dictionary, though all of us were submitting our handwritten material, but we had put a dictionary on that so that people start doing dictionary. Those were the initial classes where students refused to look at the vocabulary, तो हमने डाल दिया था वो. And someone, like whosoever felt कि हाँ ये मौका है ग्रुप को वो करने के लिए, तो उस पर कोई कॉपीराइट आ गया. एंड देन आई जनरली डू नॉट हैव टाइम टू लुक मच इनटू दैट टेलीग्राम, सो मे बी दे सेंट अ मैसेज, वी कुड हैव रिमूव्ड, वी डिड नॉट रिमूव इट, so it has gone. That's one thing. Second thing is what was happening on the telegram was, like most of the people when we were giving them numbers, those numbers, so कुछ लोग अच्छा कर रहे थे, we had started responding to them that you're doing well and this thing, but many people were just putting in as formality, so that was probably not serving the purpose. And then many people were using it to send individual messages and ulta सीधा जो भी बोल रहे थे. So we finally decided let us stick to what is happening in the class. So अभी उसमें there is no telegram. So that's one thing. Now comes the second question. Sir वो lakes का कैसे मिलेगा? So because we are not having that as of now, and I am planning, अभी 29th को लबासना में इन लोग का फाउंडेशन खत्म हुआ है. These people who were selected last time from Master Stroke, I was discussing with them, so they plan to come and discuss some of the things live in the classes. I plan to invite them. So that we were thinking, if we can create some another interface where at least deserving students have access to it. We are looking at that. Please do not worry on this. But for all the map entries and other things, I am shifting it to paper 2. So that will also be done. That will be given. So these are the two questions which were there. I have answered them. Third question, somebody said, अरे बीच में मत पूछना. Yes, if you are asking questions, please ask. please ask only the classes related to class related to. सर अब वो डिक्शनरी कहाँ से मिलेगा, मेरा डिक्शनरी आने में 7 days लगेंगे अदिति सिंह। मैंने कहा ना, फिर कॉन्वर्सेशन वहाँ चला जाता है। अदिति सिंह, जब आपका डिक्शनरी आ जाए तब यूज़ करिए। माई रिक्वेस्ट इज प्लीज स्टार्ट यूजिंग डिक्शनरी। तब तक आपके पास गूगल है, सो दैट इज़ देयर, गेट दैट। सो आपको क्लास से रिलेटेड जो टॉपिक चल रहा है उसमें डाउट पूछें, चलेगा। आपको इधर उधर रैंडम कुछ क्वेश्चंस जो आ जाते हैं, दे टेक अवे द क्लास, दैट इज़ वन थिंग। एंड सेकेंड थिंग इज, सर डिक्शनरी मिल रहा है नहीं मिल रहा है, यू कैन इमेजिन उसी डिक्शनरी के खेल में फर्स्ट 6-7 days we lost that group also and other things. So let me not get into that. That is one thing. Second thing is, last week classes जो miss हुए. So I told you about missing on Tuesday's class. Thursday we had slotted a class, and as I said, the entire universe conspired against it. So just before the class, I was ready, the team was ready. Something happened and there was some wiring malfunction. So my studio was not working. And by the time it was repaired, it was 9:30, 10. I thought, I do not know how many students are waiting, so I did not want to miss it. So I informed the group that, okay, we'll take a class on Friday and Saturday. Friday morning, again, I was ready for the class, and me and my studio get to know that the class was not slotted, so some communication error happened. So I said, okay, don't worry, we'll have a class this time on Saturday and Sunday also if needed. At least 2 classes will be there. So that Saturday class was slotted. I am sure you would have seen that till evening, till 9 o'clock it was slotted. And next day we had some, felicitation program with our BPSC selected students. And I was also around. So I said, yeah, I will be there. I will be reaching for that. And they thought, that means sir will be busy over there. And all the Saturday classes were removed. So you saw it. In fact, before sleeping, I saw it. The class is there. Saturday का डला है, अब Saturday भी नहीं हुआ. So now Thursday, Friday, Saturday have been missed, and I thought, अब Sunday क्या ही करना है. I wanted to at least take 2 classes last week so that I can finish this topic, air mass and frontogenesis, and in fact basic climatology, so that once we are done with basic climatology, I can take you to the next topic, for which I need to get into a human geography topic, which is called perspective in human geography. Basic perspective in human geography. That is the next unit. I wanted to start it from this week, but as I told you, as things conspired, so I take the whole blame for that, and I'm sorry for that. But unfortunately, last week I could not meet you, so I'm sorry. That's one. This week we are having a class today, and we'll have a class on Thursday as usual. आज Monday हो गया. Monday is a class. Tomorrow also you have a class. Monday, Tuesday, then Thursday and Saturday. If possible, I'll bring something. But Monday and Tuesday, my intention is to finish this basic climatology. In this, I am talking about air masses and frontogenesis. This is our topic from syllabus. We are doing that. And one more topic which I have to do, and that topic is what is that? Westerlies and trade winds. Sorry, not trade winds, jet streams. So ये करके हम basic बंद कर देंगे. Is everyone okay? So basic climatology will finish at jet streams. Advanced में क्या आएगा? Advanced में we will have phenomena of cyclones. We'll be talking about cyclones. We'll be talking about climatic classification, and we will also be talking about applied climatology. So these are the advanced ones. I am expecting most of you are still in weather reports, and now most of you have understood what weather reports are. So I want you to continue making your weather reports. And apart from that, Chennai mein cyclone Fengal has come. And in the last 5 years, in the last 5-6 years, चेन्नई के लिए रेगुलर हो चुका है. पुडुचेरी के पास इसका लैंडफॉल हुआ है. पुडुचेरी के पास, and it has become a regular phenomena now that the southern states and particularly Chennai will receive those floods. So how to deal with that? I think a beautiful article was done on that. So please do that. Is everyone okay? सर मैंने न्यू ज्वाइन किया है, कैन आई आस्क फ्रॉम फाउंडेशन? अदिति सिंह, अभी लेट अस डू द टॉपिक. Towards the end of the class, I will do that. And Aditi Singh, many people have done this. अब फाउंडेशन में क्या होगा, आप फाउंडेशन का डाउट क्या पूछेंगे, सर इस वर्ड का मीनिंग बताइए. सो वो गड़बड़ हो जाता है. उसके लिए डिक्शनरी है. लेट द डिक्शनरी कम टू यू. वर्ड मीनिंग के अलावा अगर आपको कोई इशू है, सो टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ द क्लास, अदिति सिंह प्लीज रिमाइंड मी. आई विल टेक योर डाउट. सर कलकत्ता में कल रेन ड्रिजल हो रहा था. सो कोलकाता रेन ड्रिजल, बाय नाउ द डिस्टर्बेंसेस हैव शिफ्टेड साउथवर्ड. So the big impact will be in the peninsular India. I do not see West Bengal getting too much of that. And rain drizzle होना is a normal thing. So you are in a coastal area, so वो होगा. सर आप वो वर्ल्ड मैप की क्लास कब करा रहे हैं? हाँ, दैट इज ऑल्सो देयर. सो ये अदिति भी न्यू है, फाउंडेशन में है. सो वर्ल्ड मैप की क्लास मंडे, ट्यूसडे, वेडनेसडे को करा दें. वेडनेसडे को आपका क्लास नहीं होता है, सिर्फ वर्ल्ड मैप के लिए मिलते हैं. एंड अदिति का डाउट भी है. पीपल हु ज्वाइंड लेट, पीपल हु हैव ज्वाइंड लेट, वेडनेसडे को एक डाउट सेशन लगाते हैं ना, सो दैट आवर रेगुलर क्लासेस आर नॉट बॉदर्ड. दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग. अदरवाइज ये होगा मेरा डाउट नहीं लिया, और डाउट होता वो है कि सर मैं फर्स्ट ईयर में हूँ, तैयारी कैसे करें. बाय द वे, पीपल हु आर इन आवर करंट इंग्लिश GS बैच, I have been talking about them, about strategy, about a planner, how to make a planner. I was talking to them last weekend, and I told them that I'll inform in my geography batch also, so that geography people who are in GS, they also attend the class. I don't have a class in GS today, but tomorrow will be a strategy class, and it will be important. It will give you a very good perspective on how to plan, how to plan for prelims 2025. So abhi se ek blueprint we will be discussing, a practical blueprint which I would be discussing, so that can be there. Is everyone okay? ऑप्शनल में भी कभी ब्लूप्रिंटिंग कर देंगे. ऑप्शनल में अभी, बिकॉज the batch hasn't settled, people, the admissions are still open in this, so many people they come as beginners, so probably this is not the right time to do that. So I'll take an extra class on Wednesday. So everyone, an extra class on Wednesday for doubts and map making. We will slot it there. So tomorrow you have a class, Wednesday you have a class. For that matter, that means this whole week I have a class with you, except for Friday. That's what is visible to me. Is everyone okay? So Wednesday class will be a small class, will be a 1 hour class. If we don't have anything, we'll just talk about map, and I'll also probably tell you what can be done about for map entries. Done? So that is how we can save our time also, and not allow the class to get distracted, which often becomes the case, and which has unfortunately led to very unpleasant situations. Are we okay with this? Okay. So last हम क्या कर रहे थे? Air masses. Yes, air masses. So Aditi, if you are a newcomer, just see whether you can be, like you will be able to make some meaning out of it or not. So strategy का भी overview दे दीजिएगा. आपकी foundation batch join नहीं किया है. See, as I said, geography optional वाले बच्चों को भी दूंगा, but not now. A time will come, we'll do that. Don't worry. See, optional students, we get to meet you throughout the course, but for GS we meet them only during that segment when geography is happening. So their class has matured. We have finished one topic, entire world geography. They're in the middle of general geography, and they are now aligned with the process. So that is a time for them. There are many students over here who are in that batch, GS batch. So I have generally told them that general geography, you need not attend the classes. So I'm reminding you that tomorrow, please attend the class. I will remind you tomorrow also. Get that? So air masses are huge volumes of air, 3-dimensional spaces. We've already looked at their classification. ये देख लिया था हम लोगों ने. Is everyone okay with this? So we had looked at all this. And I want to tell you, just tell me, is CTKU possible? Is CTKU possible? Is CTWU possible? Think about it. C means continental tropical. Think about it. Continental tropical. That means we are talking about Australia. Australia. Cold and unstable. Cold means the air mass is cold compared to the underlying surface. So it is possible. It is possible, and then U. Okay, Aditi, please do geomorphology. Yes, abhi group ka I have told you. Wednesday ko please come to the class. That will help you. Okay, and I would say quickly do the classes 2 a day, no, Aditi, and you can soon join us. अभी जो perspective शुरू होने वाला है, everyone, all the newcomers also, you can join that perspective class which will start from, I think, Thursday से शुरू कर दूंगा if possible. Please join that. All the new ones to join it immediately. नए बैच से आप जुड़ सकते हैं. CTKU, CTWU. Is CTKU possible? Australia, continental, tropical, because this is 30 degrees south line, this is 0 degrees. Is everyone okay with CT? CTK means which season in Australia? CTK means which season in southern hemisphere? Quickly tell me. CTK means which season in Australia? Quickly, मतलब let's not waste time. आपने जो किया है वो आपको याद आ जाना चाहिए. CTK cold air mass है. विंटर होगा तो विंटर में आप बताइए कि लैंड ज्यादा कोल्ड हो जाएगा कि नहीं. विल द लैंड बी वेरी कोल्ड? तो आपने कहा सीटी के. वैसे जब हम बात करते हैं सीटी है. नाउ सीटी व्हेन इट इज मूविंग, ये तभी बनेगा व्हेन इट इज मूविंग. सो आपने कहा विंटर में, हमने कहा सीटी के. सो सीटी के, suppose we are talking about this CTK also. Now tell me, K means you are colder than your underlying surface. So will you become S or U? आप बताइए. आपके नीचे की सरफेस क्या है? Your underlying surface is warmer. Underlying surface is warm. Yes or no? Underlying surface is warm. So land is warmer. K means you are. K means the air is colder than the underlying surface. Then only that is there, no? True. So that means the land under you is warmer. And remember that tawa analogy. So CTKU possible. Possible in reality. Get that? CTWU. Let us talk about CTWU. So it is warm. CTW now. Australia is CTW. W के नीचे. W means the underlying surface is. W means what? The underlying surface is cold. Yes or no? True. Everyone, is it true that the underlying surface is cold? If the underlying surface is cold, how can you be unstable? Is CTWU possible? Everyone, possible or impossible? Stable तो हो ही नहीं सकता. CTWS is okay. Possible. CTW is just a theoretical this thing flow chart that we have created. Is everyone okay? So I wanted, this is where we had talked about it. ये जो आपके लिए classification किया गया, this is just a flow chart way of showing things. This is just a flow chart way of showing things. Some of you, you know, right now, so you are just preparing. GS भी है, optional भी है, but when closer to the examination, you will read this and you say, यार, this is not possible. Sachin sir ने बताया वो, and then you're wondering how did it happen? Maybe I did not understand in the class or something. Oh, why did I not ask Sachin sir the doubt at that time? Do you get that? This is impossible. So this is a theoretical category. What we have done is we have just done a flow chart permutations. पहले क्या लिया? P और T, इनको मैच किया CP, MP, CT, MT. That's what we are talking about. Is everyone okay with the classification now? There are certain doubts which should have been asked, but I do see that students at times are not mature enough or understanding enough to find those doubts. So I do raise those doubts. So that is why this doubt was raised for you. Is everyone okay? तो ये हुआ आपका classification which we had talked about. This is an important map. This tells you about what are the important air masses. So आपने अपना classification कर लिया. Everyone, please keep your classification open. Did we see something called as CT? Did we see something called as MT? These are CTs and these are MTs. Okay. Sir, where is the continent? So everyone, where is the continent? This is the continent. Everyone, which continent do you think is this? Which continent do you think is this? This is your equator. Which continent is this? Inside the continent, we have CT. Inside the continent, around 20 degrees, 30 degrees, we have CT. So, which continent is this? Sir, this is AF, this is Africa, this is Africa, this is Africa. So, this tells me that you have not read any book. I requested you to read a book. Yes or no? Bachchon, this is a hypothetical continent. This is a hypothetical continent which is expanding in the north as well as south. Do you get that? So ये जो है 66, कैन यू सी दिस इज टचिंग आर्कटिक सर्कल. ये आर्कटिक सर्कल है, कोई भी कॉन्टिनेंट टच नहीं करता है. Do you get that? Hypothetical continent. Just to show you what are the different source regions of air masses. Here we have C, P, and here we have MP. Is everyone okay? MP and CP. इसको क्या किया? इसको किया MT. And in the world, in the southern hemisphere, we do not have land at that latitude, so that is there. Is everyone okay? पहला तो ये समझने की ज़रूरत है. I don't want students who have not looked at any book to go and write UPSC. आपका ऑप्शनल में 300 नहीं आएगा अगर बुक नहीं देखा है बच्चों तो. Do you get that? This is a beautiful way in which the books show where are the source regions. Do you get that? These are the source regions of air masses. On water, we have maritime tropical. On land, we have continental tropical. इधर high में जाएंगे 60 के आसपास. That's it. और बीच में क्या बनता है बच्चों? What is created in between? You will be surprised what they have done for this. In this, they have created this. This is what they are calling is a front. ये फ्रंट का सिंबल है. यहाँ पे फ्रंट बनते हैं. Where two air masses collide, in between we get fronts. Remember mid latitudes I told you. This is a front. This is a front. Between what? Here we have maritime polar. Here we have maritime polar. Is everyone okay? Why no maritime tropical in the southern hemisphere? Maritime tropical is not there in the southern, continental polar. CP is not there in the southern hemisphere because the land is not there in the southern hemisphere. Is everyone okay with this? Now some books, please be aware. This is what we have done. We have talked about air masses. वो classification आपने देख लिया. Some books are calling this as CA and this as CAA. So what is CA and CAA? ये आपको नहीं कराया गया है. This is the continental Arctic. Sir, why did you not do it? I did not do it because I don't believe in it. Do we have a continent up there? Do we have a continent in the northern hemisphere at the poles? Do we have a continent in the northern hemisphere at the poles? Yes or no? No, sir, we do not have it. Then why should I take it C? Why should I take it C? Yes? अगर आप उसको मेरीटाइम आर्कटिक कहते हो तो देर इज अ प्रॉब्लम. समटाइम्स इट इज फ्रोजन, समटाइम इट इज लिक्विड. So to get rid of that ambiguity, in my scheme of things, me Sachin Arora, my scheme of things, I consider all of them as polar. For me, this is what? This is polar. But some books have treated this as a separate air mass, continental Arctic, और इसको CAA का मतलब continental Antarctic. This I can understand कि भाई there is a continent over there. I would, in my scheme of things, मैं क्या बोलूंगा इसको? In my scheme of things, I would like to call it CP. I would like to call it MP. Is everyone okay? तो पहले तो ये क्लियर होना चाहिए. People who haven't seen the book, if they come across something called as CA or CAA and they are wondering and they are thinking, अरे यार सचिन सर ने बताया नहीं ये कहाँ से, and you lose confidence, or for that matter some coaching fellow who's teaching only the books comes and shows you this, or you get some notes and they show this and you start losing your confidence that I don't know it. I'm saying sub covered hai all those possible things. Even the examiner, if he surprises you, he says that there is an air mass in the continental region which will be called as CA. Treat it as CA, no problem. Treat it as CA, I have no problem. But we must understand that what is the reason why that has been created. Is everyone with me on this? If any questions, please ask. Done? Now let us go to something important which I want everyone to pay attention to, and that is when I am talking about the PYQ. So ये air masses आपको समझ में आ गए. इन air masses को मैं यहाँ पे खड़ा कर देता हूँ. कौन से air masses हैं? Can you see them? They are moving. So continental polar, maritime polar, continental tropical, maritime tropical. Can you see them? So these are your air masses. Is everyone with me on this? Do we see the air masses? Source region warm and moist, cold and dry. So source region hot and warm. So these are the source region. We have already talked about this. Air masses develop their characteristic temperature and humidity based on where they spend a lot of time. We have covered this in our previous class. Air mass should end at this. Air mass should end at this. Now I have this thing. If air mass ends at this, then we should be able to answer the questions on air mass. Yes? Challenge तो हमारे लिए यही रहेगा ना. Answer the question on air mass. So these are the questions on air mass. With suitable examples, I hope you are able to read that. With suitable examples, describe the impact of movement of air masses. ये डल गया आपके उस पर या नहीं डल गया? I had last week I had requested them to put that. जब last class हुआ था तभी डाला था ये. With suitable examples, describe the impact of movement of air mass on weather and winds in different parts of the continent. Okay, so this has been put on the material, uploaded. Thank you. So as I told you, I do not know, this was already ready, why it was not being uploaded. We got it done. So pehla answer, can we do that? With suitable examples, describe the impact of movement of air masses on weather. As the air masses are moving, they will get transformed. They will also make a change or transform the weather, the regions they are reaching over there. Okay. What are the important factors responsible for air mass modification? So everyone, what are the responsible factors Factors responsible for air mass modification. Remember, air mass takes birth at the source region, then it is moving, and then it gets modified. You have to identify the factors. And third is examine the characteristics of frontogenesis. Fronts we are not done yet. Examine the impacts of ocean currents on air mass behavior. So what will the ocean currents do? That's also there. And discuss frontogenesis, classify air mass and explain how CP air mass affects global climate. So ये बताइए questions कर सकते या नहीं कर सकते? Can we do this or not? What are air masses? How do they impact and all those things? Can we do them or not? Classify air masses. Remember that theoretical classification, tropical, maritime, and then you make a flow chart and then you classify. And in the end, you can write down. However, this is theoretical. Some of them are possible in reality, some of them are not. Draw a map also, show them. I just gave you a hypothetical. Remember that hypothetical continent बना सकते हैं उसमें. Oh, that's it. उसके बाद क्या आता है? Explain how CP air mass affects global climate. Now, I have seen in my experience, most of my students understand this area. When it comes to writing the answer, say for example, impact on global climate, they will say, अच्छा ये heating कर देगा, cooling कर देगा, and then suddenly they don't have much to write. And their language is also not geographical. And as I told you, that hypothetical continent which I showed you, you didn't even know because you have not looked at the book. Yes or no? But sir, when I write things, it appears they are not arranged properly. ये भी है. True, that happens or not? So wanted some solution to this. क्या करें? So I've decided to help my students with a choice of words, and an arrangement for air masses. So this was your homework. Properties of air mass, different properties, CP, MP. I really thought that you would have done that. And friends, but sir 2 to 4 lines ही लिख पाते आंसर में. So अब ये कैसे कर पाएंगे, इसको हम देख रहे हैं. This we had done in the last class. So people who had done this, I want you to take a fresh page and let's see. एक बार फिर से शिवी, let us try. Let's take a fresh page. Take a fresh page of your booklet, of your notebook. Yes, turn it around. From portrait, I want you to go into landscape. Deepak is saying, I start explaining too much during answering and unable to arrange. Okay, Deepak, everything. थोड़ा solve करने की कोशिश करते. तो यहाँ पर हम क्या लिखने वाले हैं? Types and characteristics of air masses. TYPES and types and characteristics of air masses. Is everyone okay with this? So here we will have a table. I am making a table for everyone. Serial number, type of the air mass, source region of the air mass, and then characteristics. Characteristics will be thermodynamics, so temperature. Characteristic will be moisture. And third characteristic will be stability. Do we get that? Kindly freehand like I am doing it. See, you can see that I have made this table in front of you. I want to show my students कि जो कह रहा हूँ वो मैं करता भी हूँ आपके सामने ऐसे बन जाएगा. एग्जाम में भी आप बना सकते हो, बट आई एम नॉट डूइंग दिस फॉर द एग्जाम पार्ट ऑफ यू of it. I am doing it to make it simple for you. You can see I have drawn a freehand table in front of you. If I can do it, you can also do it. Yes. And I'm going to look at 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 आएंगे. There will be 7 of them. Do we get that? So पहले ही बना दिया, टेबल आपको बता दिया, बुक अपना टर्न कर लो. Turn your notebook around. 7 of them. And quickly draw this. We will consider all of them. When you're done, say done. Okay. So if you're done, the first one which I have for all of you is CP, continental polar. Yes, because the examiner asks us about everything, so हम इसका nature ना दोनों तरह से देखने वाले हैं. This is going to be CP in winter. Which season? CP winter and CP summer. Get that? अब मुझे बताइए CP, I just showed you the slide. CP कहाँ बनेगा? Where is the source region of CP? CP takes birth where? Quickly. Where is the source region of CP? Source, all possible source regions. Think about it. ताकि इस table में everything is there. When I have to revise air mass, I will just revise the table, which will take me 5 minutes for the exam also. Quickly tell me. CP winter, where will it be? What are the birthplaces for this? All possible ones. Quickly, quickly. दिमाग लगाना है सभी लोग. That's why I requested you to read it. थोड़ा पढ़ के आएंगे तो मजा आएगा. दीपक, हायर लैटिट्यूड, हायर नॉर्थ साउथ. भाई स्पेसिफिक है, आपके सामने दिख रहा है. अबव 60 डिग्री ऑन कॉन्टिनेंट. ओके, अबव 60 डिग्री. अबव 60 डिग्री तो यार, अबव 60 डिग्री तो लैंड भी है. और आई होप यू नो लाइक नाउ योर ज्योग्राफी स्टूडेंट्स, यू विल स्टॉप डूइंग इट above and below. Either you will say pole word, equator word, north or south, something of that. Yes, polar region. भाई मुझे तो ये पता है, this will be Canada, US, Alaska. This will be Greenland. This will be Russia, Siberia. This will also include southern hemisphere, Antarctica. मैं क्यों नहीं लिखूंगा यार? Why would I not write this? मेरा हो गया जब मुझे क्लियर है तो. Why would I not write this? Canada interior, US का Alaska. Alaska भी थोड़ा ही आएगा, US का because mostly impacted by maritime influence. Greenland, Russia polar region, साइबेरिया कर दिया हमने, रशिया का साइबेरिया, एंड अंटार्कटिका. यस और नो? स्कैंडिनेविया बहुत ही नैरो है, उसके ऊपर नीचे पानी है, तो उसमें कॉन्टिनेंट के लिए रिमेंबर दीज सोर्स रीजन्स आर बिग इनफ. Did we talk about this source region being big areas, huge, massive areas? So that is why we have kept that. That is why we have kept that. इनको हम CP कहते हैं. In the material or that hypothetical one, हमने CAA भी बोला इसको, किसी ने इसको CAA लिख दिया था. I am okay with that. अब इसके बाद तो कुछ नहीं रह जाता ना. Your teacher has talked about it and it is at one place. No problem in your mind. If you have to draw, इसकी practice कर लेना. एक hypothetical continent बनाओ and that's it. These are smart ways in which geographers are dealing with things. Let's come and let me ask you, what will be the temperature over here? What will be the temperature over here? Quickly, कैसा होगा temperature? Transport yourself into Siberia. Transport yourself into Canada. Canadian central provinces, Winnipeg या अथाबास्का लेक के पास हो आप. And it is winters, right in the middle of Siberia and in Canada or in Antarctica. Winters में कैसा टेम्परेचर होगा? दीपक बोल रहा है कोल्ड. क्या आपको लगता है सिर्फ कोल्ड होगा? गौतम बोला वेरी कोल्ड होगा. श्रवानी इज सेइंग वेरी वेरी कोल्ड होगा. राज इज सेइंग नेगेटिव बिलो जीरो. अरे बिलो जीरो की कोई औकात है यार? बिलो जीरो तो बहुत ही ज्यादा ठंडा हो रहा है. बिलो जीरो इज अ नॉर्मल थिंग. बिलो जीरो तो यहां पर हो जाता है, कश्मीर में हो जाता है. बिलो जीरो कश्मीर में हो जाता है. कैन यू कंपेयर इट विद साइबेरिया? सिवियर कोल्ड. So we'll call it very, very cold. Winters I'm talking about. Very, very, very cold. Get that? So CP winters is very, very cold. अब टेम्परेचर आप -30 बोलो, अरे बेटा वहां -50 भी हो जाता है, -60 भी हो जाएगा. So why bother about that? Can I say very, very cold? If the air is very, very cold, how would its moisture holding capacity be? High or low? Air में इतना compressed है, मतलब it's very cold, so it is all the molecules are so close. So will it have a high moisture holding capacity? No, sir. It will have a very, very low moisture holding capacity. If the moisture holding capacity is low, so what will be the moisture? What kind of an wind is this or air mass is this? Very dry. लो तो बेटा कश्मीर में भी हो जाएगी. थिंक अबाउट इट. गिव सम रिस्पेक्ट टू साइबेरियन विंटर. इट इज गोइंग टू बी वेरी लो. राहुल गुप्ता कह टेम्परेचर इज वेरी माइनस कुछ नहीं होता, माइनस माइनस ही होता है, वेरी नहीं होता, ही होता है माइनस टू अ वेरी लो डिग्री. सो वेरी ड्राई. अच्छा टेल मी, योर लैंड इज सुपर कूल एंड वॉट एवर एयर इज कमिंग ऑन दैट विल बी रिलेटिवली वार्मर. यस और नो? नीचे एकदम ठंडा है एयर. स्टेबल और अनस्टेबल, ये बताओ कैसा होगा? हाउ वुड द स्टेबिलिटी बी? हाउ वुड द स्टेबिलिटी बी? Sir, it is going to be stable or very stable. And do you know what is the meaning of very stable? Absolute stability. Wants to come down. The air, even if you push, it has a tendency to come down. That's there. ठीक है. अब हमने क्या किया? अब हमने यहां पर हीट को, सीपी को बढ़ा दिया. नाउ वी आर इन द समर सीजन. What will be the source region, everyone? What will be the source region for CP summer? What will be the source region? कुछ लोग सोच रहे हैं. Same. Source region will be same, no? But now think about it. Canada is there. Canada, which is experiencing winter right now. Many of my known people in Canada want to run away from Canada. It is very, very cold. But imagine Canada in the month of June, May and June. Canada in the month of May and June. will it be same very, very cold? Or will it become very, very hot? So temperature कैसा होगा? Canada in summers, Siberia in summers. Very hot, very cold, very, very cold. नहीं सर, cold होगा. It will be cold, but not that cold. But it is still cold because it is the polar region, no? Antarctica will still be cold in summers. But have we heard that Antarctic ice starts melting? Have we heard Greenland ice is melting? Have we heard that Siberian region that ice is melting? सर तो उतना ठंडा तो नहीं होगा, बट होगा तो अभी भी ठंडा. ऐसा तो है नहीं सर कॉटन की शर्ट में पहुंच जाएंगे. सो कैन आई रिमूव वन वेरी, एक वेरी हटाते और एक ही वेरी रखते. वेरी कोल्ड. टेम्परेचर्स माइट बी जीरो नाउ. लिटिल कोल्ड नहीं है राहुल गुप्ता. इफ यू वांट टू गो देयर भाई, ठंडा साइबेरिया जाएगा तो लेकर जाना. और अगर एयर का टेम्परेचर थोड़ा सा बढ़ गया है, सो इट्स मॉइस्चर होल्डिंग कैपेसिटी विल आल्सो इंक्रीज अ लिटिल बिट, बट स्टिल इट इज कोल्ड. सो कोल्ड है तो एक वेरी फिर हटा दे, ड्राई कर दे. ड्राई. अब स्टेबिलिटी बता दो मुझे. स्टेबिलिटी बताओ. लेट मी सी हाउ मेनी इफ यू आर एबल टू टेल मी समथिंग अबाउट द स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ दिस एयर मास. Please let me know the status of stability of this air mass. Stability बताइए जल्दी से. Quickly I am looking at the stability of this air mass. Please let me know. रोहित कह रहा है अनस्टेबल. रितु कह रहा है स्टेबल. Gautam Vyas is saying may be stable or maybe not due to moisture. So everyone, is stability related to moisture? Gautam is talking about stability and moisture. And everyone, when I question you, I don't know, it was a very funny thing. Somebody said GS में, अरे क्वेश्चन पूछो तो रोस्ट कर देगा. अरे भाई गलत बोल रहा है तो आई एम जस्ट नेमिंग गौतम व्यास एंड आई एम आस्किंग यू बाय द नेम ऑफ दैट. एटलीस्ट हैव दैट सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर. हाँ जी, तो गौतम व्यास इज सेइंग दैट मे बी स्टेबल और मे बी नॉट ड्यू टू मॉइस्चर. मॉइस्चर से थोड़ी होता है. स्टेबिलिटी अनस्टेबिलिटी तो डिपेंड्स ऑन द सर्फेस. व्हेन द सर्फेस बिलो इज स्टिल कोल्ड, व्हेन द सोर्स रीजन इज स्टिल कोल्ड एंड ड्राई, सो द एयर शुड बी स्टेबल और अनस्टेबल. अभी भी कोल्ड ही है तो स्टेबल है. स्टेबल होना चाहिए. यस होना चाहिए. वेरी स्टेबल, आई डोंट नो. लैंड विल बी हॉट और लेस कोल्ड. आई एम जस्ट आस्किंग यू. यू हैव योरसेल्फ रिटन इट ना. लैंड तो बच्चे यहां लिख चुके हो ना. आप ही तो लिख चुके हो. वेरी कोल्ड और ड्राई अभी भी है. Very cold and dry is still there. Get that? Now, I want to tell you something very interesting. So, Siberia में there is this range called Verkhoyansk. It is called the cold North Pole. वहाँ पे coldest temperature record हुआ. The northern hemisphere coldest temperature is recorded in Siberia. Do we get that? But I want to tell you that in the last 4-5 years, this area during summers has experienced heat wave conditions. And can you imagine the temperatures touched 25-30 plus degree Celsius. So अगर 30 भी हो गया तो गड़बड़ है कि नहीं. शुभम मिश्रा, unstable if the air comes from upper latitudes. शुभम मिश्रा, एक तो आपका कॉन्सेप्ट गलत है. इफ द एयर कम्स फ्रॉम अपर नहीं होता, हायर लैटिट्यूड. और पोल से आएगी तो वो भी तो पोलर ही होगी ना. हम तो पूरा ही सीपी मान के चल रहे हैं. वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट अंटार्कटिका ओनली. डू वी गेट दैट? So what I am trying to say here is, because of climate change, we have seen extreme events of heating in these latitudes. If imagine in the summer season, Siberia temperature becomes 30 degrees Celsius. Siberia ka land becomes 30 degrees Celsius, but the water will still be MP, no? MP will still be cooler. तो अब नीचे लैंड गर्म हो गया एंड उसके ऊपर आप ठंडी हवा लेकर आओगे तो क्या हो जाएगा, अनस्टेबल हो जाएगा, होगा या नहीं होगा? So I would have loved to write here, stable. बिल्कुल होना चाहिए था स्टेबल. I am writing here largely stable. Largely, mostly stable. Mostly stable, but exceptions possible. Is everyone okay? Largely stable होगा, but अगर साइबेरिया में हीट वेव आ गया, yes or no? Imagine the air is at say 0 degree and land becomes 10 degrees because of heat wave. Land ज़्यादा हो गया गर्म, तब क्या होगा? Air is now cooler compared to land. Yes, it will become what? CPKU. CPKU बन जाएगा कि नहीं? Think about it. CPKU. I started the class with that. Possible or not? Conditional instability, whatever I am saying whatever, is it possible or not? Now there are students who said, Sachin sir, we do not know how to organize ideas. We generally do not have words. Sir, when I write answer, I tend to write more. If you have a question like this, classify air masses, explain CP air mass, CP summer, CP winter, and its effects on global climate. Global climate may it will impact the temperature, it will impact the humidity, it will impact the stability. How will it do that? Can you show it? Do you also know the source region? And can you also show the difference in winter and in summer? In winter, when this CP is coming from Canada towards tropical areas, that is called Canadian blizzard. Yes or no? Canada से अगर आता है, this is CP, no? CP winters, when it comes to Texas तक जमा देता है भाई, Gulf of Mexico तक जमा देता है. So what will it do? It will bring the cold influence over there. The precipitation instead of rain would be snow if it is winter one. But if it is summers, in summers what will happen? It will bring instability. It can be the seat where cyclones are coming. Possible or not? Do we get that? Acha. That heat or that blizzard which is coming from the pole towards Texas, towards Tropic of Cancer, or for that matter those cyclones, what are they eventually doing? What is their ultimate goal? Quickly tell me. What is the ultimate goal of these things? You know, blizzard coming from Canada towards tropical latitude. Yes. और क्या बोला था हमने, रशिया में इनको बुरान एंड कारा बुरान कहते हैं. दो सेम frozen winds, they are coming as buran and kara buran in Russia, Siberian region. Yes. And I'm saying in the summer, when CP is summer, it can become unstable. It can become unstable if heat is there. So quickly tell me everyone, quickly tell me what are ultimately they trying to do. जल्दी से बताओ, 10 बज गए, मुझे ख़त्म कर देना था अब तक. I wanted to jump to front by 10 o'clock. But I am more interested in my student not only understanding but being able to write also. जल्दी बताओ ultimately क्या करना चाहते हैं? Why is it happening? Is the chat still active? कुछ movement नहीं है इसलिए मैंने पूछ लिया, otherwise I will move on. आयुष सही बोल रहा है. आयुष is saying sir heat transfer करना चाहते हैं. Heat budget. Remember the heat is transferred from there to this. Shravani is saying achieve equilibrium. Which equilibrium? That's what we are talking about now. So thermal or radiation budget, that is that. Now tell me, ये table आपको help करेगा? You will show through this source region. You can show your map. Map में बनाइए जो आपको बनाना है. आपने ये बनाया. Suppose you made this and you wrote this as CP winter. When this comes down as a blizzard, Canadian blizzard. What will it do to the temperature? What will it do to the humidity? What will it do to the stability? Cold air है, नीचे गर्म है, unstable होगा कि नहीं होगा? नीचे तो गर्म एरियाज में जा रहा है ना, तो what will it be? CPKU. CPKU will create what? यहां पर बहुत सारी चीजें हो सकती है, हीट ट्रांसफर भी होगा. हाउ इज इट इंपैक्टिंग द वर्ल्ड थिंग? इन वर्ल्ड इट इज कॉजिंग हीट एक्सचेंज टू हैपन. ग्लोबल हीट बजट इज बीइंग कन्वर्टेड ओवर देयर. इज एवरीवन विद मी? विल दिस हेल्प यू और नॉट? तो ये आपके लिए बनाया. अब हम आते हैं दूसरे पर. लेट अस सी हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू आर एबल टू डू दिस. MP winter, MP summer, so that जो भी क्वेश्चन आए, just look from here, the table should be done. MP water and MP winter and MP summers. So पहले तो source region बताओ. What will be the source region for maritime polar? What will be the source regions for maritime polar? Maritime polar, what will be the source regions? Quickly. Prabhat is saying Arctic. All possible, beta. All possible thing. Arctic, you are correct, Prabhat, but I'm looking at all possible ones. Can I say in the north we have Arctic Ocean? And in the south we have Southern Ocean. Apart from that, do we have Atlantic and Pacific Ocean also going over there? Where? North Atlantic and Pacific. 60 डिग्री साउथ के नीचे की जो लाइन है, ऑल वाटर साउथ ऑफ 60 डिग्री इज कॉल्ड सदर्न ओशन. यस और नो? कीर्ति सिंह एल्यूशियन आइलैंड. बिटिया व्हाई वुड यू से आइलैंड जब अपने पास पानी है? कोई कह रहा है साइबेरियन. क्यों करेगा? अच्छा, somebody wrote इंडियन ओशन. नॉर्थ इंडियन ओशन है? इट डज नॉट एग्जिस्ट. नॉर्थ इंडियन ओशन इज ओनली ट्रॉपिकल. नो, वो तो इंडिया पे खत्म हो जाता है. ट्रू. Why have I not taken Southern Atlantic and this thing? Sagar is saying, बेटा साउथ अटलांटिक तो खत्म हो गया ना, 60 के बाद तो ऑल वाटर इज कॉल्ड सदर्न ओशन. दिस इज वेयर मैप वर्क, मैप अंडरस्टैंडिंग कम्स हैंडी. एकदम से दिमाग में, अच्छा हाँ यही तो ओशन है, यहीं पर बनेगा सोर्स रीजन. एंड अगेन आई एम सेइंग, सी all of you had 1 week to revise your classes. Somebody, Aditi, joined us late, so that 1 week they can complete their lectures. That's all good. I'm saying the way you think and the way I make you think in the class, are they different or not? Now, this has to be the role of coaching. Coaching's role is not just about dictation. It is about making you think, making you talk, making you question. But question what? Sir, मुझे north का मतलब नहीं पता है, sir. That's where we are saying, that's all obstruction. But otherwise that's going to be there. और यही वाला इसके लिए भी रहेगा. Are the two zones done or not? Arctic Ocean, Southern Ocean, and in between Atlantic, and this thing will also have their northern part. जल्दी से बताओ अब टेम्परेचर में क्या करना है? What do I do for temperature? Maritime polar winter. So you are in the Pacific Ocean. You are in the Pacific Ocean, south of Bering Strait. South of Bering Strait, or you are somewhere in this what is this, Kamchatka Peninsula के पास. सर विंटर है, पानी ठंडा होगा. Yes. Some people are saying cold and Kaushik Saha is saying very cold. अब देखो यार, as a rule, did we write a thumb rule that land will always be colder than water irrespective of the season? Irrespective of the season, land will always be colder. So if continents are already very cold, तो maritime polar cannot be very cold. Because अगर ये भी very cold हो गया, तो एक time ऐसा आएगा they will become equal, but land has to be always colder. So can I just use the word cold? इसको भी हटाते हैं and I use the word cold. Yes or no? मैं काउंट करके लाया हूं, तुम्हें लग रहा है वेरी, मैं जैसे वो VVS Lakshman है ना, VVS, very very cold. I'll keep on removing one thing out of it. मॉइस्चर क्या करें, अब तो ओशन आ गया भाई, ओशन हैज कम, कैन ओशन बी ड्राई? ओशन के ऊपर ड्राई तो नहीं लिख सकता मैं, व्हाट विल आई राइट? I will write moist. Cold and moist. Why dry, Aditya? Ocean है भाई, ocean, ocean. Every object above absolute zero will cause evaporation. Ocean है, पानी है. Yes or no? अच्छा एक बात बताओ, everyone. Think about this. I'm talking about Aditya's idea. And again, when I take your name, जिन लोग को ऐसा लगता है अरे मेरे को रोस्ट कर दिया, get some life, get some sense of humor in your life. होना चाहिए, that will see you good. This is your Arctic Circle. Yes? Tell me which air mass is this? Which air mass is this? So this is maritime polar. Is everyone okay? True or not? कौशिक साहा saying but it is winter when land is very very cold. Land गया भाड़ में ना, मैं तो source region पूछ रहा हूँ. My maritime polar is going to take property from his mama now. His mama is ocean. So मुझे बताओ maritime polar in the month of January कैसा होगा? Definitely ठंडा होगा. Will it be cold? Yes sir, it is cold. Yes or no? Will it be moist? Yes sir, it is going to be moist. So Kaushik Saha, why should I worry about the land here? ये तो मेरा source region है ना, source region. Now we are talking about moisture. Some of you are saying dry. Sorry, stability. We are talking about stability. अब मुझे एक बात बताओ बच्चों, जो भी आप कह रहे हो, कुछ लोग इसको ड्राई भी कह रहे हो. Some people are saying, sir, why it is not dry? Remember, there is a warm ocean current. There is a warm ocean current. What is this warm ocean current? North Atlantic drift, बाद में ये बन जाएगा नॉर्वेजियन करंट. ट्रू और नॉट? ये यहां से चला है, गल्फ स्ट्रीम, इधर से आई गल्फ स्ट्रीम, दिस इज योर गल्फ स्ट्रीम. गल्फ स्ट्रीम will turn into North Atlantic drift and this thing. Tell me, when you have warm water, will it not give moisture to it? Will it give moisture or not? It will give moisture. It will give moisture, true or not? So moist करा देगा. Now there is this student, his name is Praveen Tiwari. He's saying, sir, warm current उसके temperature को भी influence करेगा. बिल्कुल करेगा. I agree. But है तो जनवरी का महीना ना, है तो जनवरी का महीना. ओशन ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता कि बे ऑफ बंगाल बन जाएगा. कैन इट मेक इट वार्म? यू टेल मी. कैन इट मेक द ओशन वार्म? वार्म तो नहीं करेगा ना. मे बी एवरीवेयर द टेम्परेचर इज -20 -30, ये उसको -5 कर देगा. दैट्स ओके. आई डू अग्री दैट यू सेट से टेम्परेचर को वो करेगा, बट विल इट मेक द एयर मास एज वार्म? आप बताओ. इसलिए उसमें से व्हाट वी डिड वाज वी रिमूव्ड अ वेरी आउट ऑफ इट. यस और नो? अब सोचो, ये एयर मास मैरीटाइम पोलर, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस. सो कोल्ड भी हो गया, सबको समझ में आ गया. मॉइस्ट भी समझ में आया नहीं है? कोल्ड एंड मॉइस्ट. सो पीपल हु आर, दिमाग लगाओगे तो बहुत सारी चीजें क्लियर हो जाएंगी. यस, कोल्ड एंड मॉइस्ट हो गया. And we saw the influence, even if the influence of warm current is there, yes, it will not allow it to be very cold. That is why I said it is going to be cold. Yes, and we also got moist. अभी स्टेबल है अनस्टेबल ये बताओ. अब ठंडा भी है, हवा तो ठंडा है, हवा ठंडा है, और मॉइस्ट भी है. स्टेबल है अनस्टेबल है? So generally cold air has to be stable. Cold air has to be stable. The oceans are also cold. The land is also cold. It is generally stable. But here I am writing convective instability possible. Remember, when warm water is flowing beneath you, you are on surface. That means your underlying surface is warm, heated from below. That means you will become unstable. Chinmay is saying little stable. Chinmay, I get that, beta. We talked about very stable, we talked about largely stable. Ab you want to say little stable. I am saying little stable to hey, but convective instability is possible. Suppose an ocean current, warm ocean current is flowing beneath it, it will create convective instability. It will create clouds, it will create precipitation, it will create drama or not. Yes or no? हाँ सर पॉसिबल. तो इफ यू आर एबल टू राइट दिस एंड शो दिस विद दिस डायग्राम ना, डायग्राम बना के रखो ना यार. इसीलिए तो कहता हूं मैप. ज्योग्राफी का स्टूडेंट विदाउट मैप इनकम्प्लीट स्टूडेंट है. एंड दे आर टीचर्स हु आर स्टिल सेइंग नहीं हमारे नोट्स लिखो, मैप वैप बाद में देखा जाएगा. अभी तो खैर उन टीचर्स ने भी क्लास अटेंड कर ली है, अब उनको भी मैपिंग आ गई है, चिंता ना करो. वीडियोस तो हमारे अवेलेबल है एंड दे आर इन द बिजनेस ऑफ सेलिंग एजुकेशन. सो सीख लेंगे कि नहीं. सबने कहना शुरू किया हाँ हाँ नहीं नहीं मैप इंपॉर्टेंट है. मास्टर स्ट्रोक के बच्चों ने रिकॉर्ड बना रखे हैं. इज एवरीवन ओके? अब सिर्फ इस टेबल में एंड द डिस्कशन विच आई हैव हैड विद यू, discussion which I have had with you, and based on this table only, discuss the impact of ocean currents on air mass behavior. हो जाएगा कि नहीं? Discuss the impacts of ocean currents on air mass behavior. अभी तो warm current का बताया. Can cold current, if cold current is passing beneath this, if cold current is passing, सर वो कैसे possible होगा? ये ले लो. इधर क्या बच्चों, इधर है ना एमपी. एमपी के नीचे कौन सा करंट जा रहा है? कोल्ड कैलिफोर्निया करंट. ये एमपी को क्या कर देगा? कूल्ड फ्रॉम बिलो. ये स्टेबल करेगा कि नहीं? ऑन दिस साइड एमपी विल बी स्टेबल. ऑन दिस साइड बिकॉज ऑफ कोल्ड करंट एमपी बिकेम स्टेबल, एंड ऑन दिस साइड बिकॉज ऑफ वार्म करंट एमपी बिकेम अनस्टेबल. Such a beautiful example you had. Examiner is asking this question. Student बोलता है सर के नोट्स से नहीं आया, सर ने ये वाला नहीं बताया था नोट्स में. And the teacher said अच्छा कोई बात नहीं. And next year what he does is he updates his notes. नोट्स में इसका भी डिक्टेशन दे देगा. बोला क्यों डिक्टेशन दे रहा है यार? If your student understand what is an air mass and you given them the table, दिमाग लगाएगा यार. क्वेश्चन तो कुछ भी आ सकता है ना. You can very well do that. So what will it impact? It will impact the characteristics. What are the characteristics? 3 characteristics hai. How will it impact the temperature? How will it impact the moisture? How will it impact the stability? Give a map, give a this thing along with the source regions. इसी table से आप बहुत अच्छे answers बना सकते हैं. People were saying I am not able to organize. You can use this table to organize also. Possible or not? Yes. Now you have understood the trick also. तो MP समर के लिए you must be wondering सचिन सर के पास क्या वेरी आर फिनिश. All the varies are finished. What will सचिन सर do now? अभी भी ठंडा ही रहेगा. समर आएगा और आप जब भी आंसर कर रहे होगे, if you feel that your words are a little less, give the answer in winter and summer. Your answer would be better or not? Any person who feels that sir when I write answer, like Shivi was saying, I write 1 or 2 points and after that there is not much to write. Do this. एकदम कूल तरीका बता रहा हूं आपको. कूल. मॉइस्ट है, मोर मॉइस्ट कर देते, क्या दिक्कत है? और इसको क्या कर देंगे? इंस्टेबिलिटी पॉसिबल. चीट कोड बता रहा हूं आपको. I think air mass is the easiest possible topic, and then if you have a cheat code, nothing like that. अब इसके बाद क्या है हमारे पास? अब देखें how many of you are able to do it yourself. ये आप लोग खुद से करके दिखाओ मुझे. Maritime, tropical, winter. Maritime, tropical, समर। कॉन्टिनेंटल नहीं कर रहा हूं, मेरी टाइम कर रहा हूं। इसके सोर्स रीजन बताओ अभी, इसके सोर्स रीजन्स बता दो अभी से। लेट अस सी हाउ मेनी इफ यू आर एबल टू डू दिस। मैरीटाइम, ट्रॉपिकल। So इसमें all three oceans will come. All three oceans will come. So can I say, remember 0 to 30 is called low latitude and 30 to 60 is mid latitude. Mayank is saying equatorial. Mayank अगर equatorial करोगे तो why equatorial? हमारे पास लो भी चाहिए, मिड भी चाहिए। साउथ अटलांटिक नहीं, इसीलिए लिख रहा हूं, इसीलिए आई एम टीचिंग यू जोग्राफिकल लैंग्वेज। मिड एंड लो latitude, mid and low latitude oceans and seas। और ओशन में क्या आएगा? अटलांटिक, पैसिफिक, इंडियन। सीज में अरेबियन सी भी हो सकता है कि नहीं हो सकता है? गल्फ ऑफ मेक्सिको भी हो सकता है। ट्रू, सेम है भाई। मिड एंड लो लैटिट्यूड, वाई ओनली इक्वेटर? अब जल्दी से बताओ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स बताओ समर्स में। सो थिंक अबाउट बे ऑफ बंगाल इन समर, बे ऑफ बंगाल इन समर, या विंटर करते हैं। बे ऑफ बंगाल इन विंटर अभी तो हो रहा है। बे ऑफ बंगाल इन विंटर जो अभी हो रहा है इधर चेन्नई में। हाउ इज द वाटर? हाउ इज द वाटर? हाउ इज द वाटर? सर वार्म है सर, वार्म। भाई साइक्लोन आने के लिए पानी गर्म होना चाहिए, वार्म। और मॉइस्चर कैसा है? सर मॉइस्चर से ही तो वो आ रहा है, मोर मॉइस्चर हो गया था, वेरी मॉइस्ट। एंड कैसा है? अरे साइक्लोन आ रहा है तो व्हाट शुड आई राइट? अनस्टेबल। डन। मोर मॉइस्ट तो हो गया ना उज्जवल, अब वेरी डाल दिया। और ये तो अभी आप लोग अभी देख रहे हो। सो शिवी इट्स नॉट मोर मोर मॉइस्ट, मोर की जगह वेरी आ गया। दिस यू आर टॉकिंग टू मी इन द मंथ ऑफ डिसम्बर, टुडे 2 December, यस और नो? लेट अस टॉक अबाउट 3 months अगो, 3 months अगो, जुलाई। यस, सितंबर, जुलाई अगस्त सितंबर, जुलाई अगस्त सितंबर, मॉनसून रीजन। मॉनसून में रिमेंबर साइक्लोन ने आके वेस्ट बंगाल को मारा, साइक्लोन इधर उधर सब तरफ मार रहे थे, तो वहां पर क्या हो जाता है? द समर विल बिकम वेरी वार्म। अब वेरी आना शुरू हो गया। मॉइस्ट में क्या कर दूं? एंड दिस इज द बॉम्ब सीजन भाई, हाईली अनस्टेबल। Is everyone with me on this? Now I'm talking about CT. Are we done? ये चीट कोड रख लो. योर लैंग्वेज, एवरीथिंग विल हेल्प यू. एयर मास विल बी द इजीएस्ट पॉसिबल टॉपिक दैट यू कैन थिंक ऑफ. ये एयर मास होना है. विद मी ऑन दिस. सो पहला तो मुझे बताइए, सीटी समर. आई टोल्ड यू देयर आर 7 एयर मासेस. व्हाई नॉट 8? देयर हैज टू बी अ सीटी विंटर. There has to be a CT winter. I'm saying tropical areas are, continental lands are winterless. इधर winter नहीं होता है. Sir, winter क्यों नहीं होता? Because as a rule, land will always be warmer than its surrounding. Even in the winters, land will be warm. Yes, I know you and I are from North Indian plain. Sir, यहाँ सर्दी बहुत पड़ती है. North Indian plain is an exception. North Indian plain is an exception because there is a huge effect of continentality. बट यू विल फाइंड कि ये सारे के सारे इस बेल्ट में, लोअर लैटिट्यूड ट्रॉपिकल बेल्ट में, अफ्रीका में भी अगर विंटर भी है तो विंटर इज वार्म इनफ. विंटर इज वार्म इनफ. The land, the spread of the land is not too much. Say for example, we are talking about Singapore, we are talking about Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam. पड़ेगी सर्दी, but that सर्दी will be, like much less compared to anything which is on water. डू वी गेट दैट? तो इसलिए हम इसको मोस्टली लार्जली समर ही रखते हैं. व्हाट विल इट हैव? इट विल हैव ट्रॉपिकल एंड सब ट्रॉपिकल लैंड एरियाज. व्हाट इज इट? ट्रॉपिकल एंड सब ट्रॉपिकल लैंड एरियाज. गेट दैट? कैरेबियन आइलैंड, अफ्रीका, साउथ एशिया, साउथ ईस्ट एशिया का जो पेनिनसुलर रीजन है, दिस इज गोइंग टू बी देयर. इवन ऑस्ट्रेलिया का जो नॉर्दर्न पार्ट है, केप यॉर्क पेनिनसुला, आर्नहेम लैंड एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स व्हिच यू हैव डन विद मी इन द वर्ल्ड ज्योग्राफी, दैट पार्ट इज आल्सो देयर. सो ट्रॉपिकल एंड सब ट्रॉपिकल लैंड एरियाज. ठीक है. अब लेट अस टॉक अबाउट द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स. तो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स क्या है? अब तो ये थिंक अबाउट समर्स इन चेन्नई. आर दे वेरी वार्म? आउटराइट हॉट भाई. दे आर हॉट. यस और नो? हॉट. एंड व्हाट हैपेंस टू द वाटर सप्लाई? What happens to the water supply in Tamil Nadu? They are fighting with this thing Karnataka for Kaveri water. Yes or no? Is there a shortage of water? What happens in Maharashtra? महाराष्ट्र लोग भाई, मतलब इतनी गर्मी है लेकिन पानी नहीं है कुछ भी. सो क्या लिख दूं? हॉट एंड ड्राई. हॉट एंड ड्राई. दिस एयर मास इज जनरली hot and generally dry. Generally hot and generally dry. Do we get that? Now if the surface is hot, if the air is very hot, if this air is hot, ये कहीं पर भी जाएगी तो relatively आसपास तो ठंडा ही मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा? इससे गर्म तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता. Yes? So there is a tendency to be unstable, but only when moisture is available. Otherwise the conditions are there. Convection is happening. It is unstable. Convection is constantly happening, but that convection isn't creating any drama because moisture nahi hai. But if some moisture comes, a water body comes or something, so then what will happen? Then it will suddenly turn into an evening thunderstorm, जो हमारे यहाँ पर होता है, आंधी तूफान जो आता है. So unstable बिल्कुल होगा. Unstable when moist. It is unstable, no doubt about that. It is warm air, yes, but the situation generally remains what? Land is relatively थोड़ा सा इससे वो होगा, but नीचे का underlying land is very very hot. So this air is generally heated from below, but heated from below it will create some dust bowls, dust eddies and something. But if moisture is available, then what will happen? It will create clouds and all that latent heat of condensation will be released, and then it will become very, very unstable. CT air mass. Is everyone okay? Now tell me, can you handle questions? Questions भी कर लेंगे अब. Explain characteristic features of frontogenesis. What are uh, important factors responsible for air mass modification? अब तो यार कर दोगे. थर्मल मॉडिफिकेशन, डायनेमिक मॉडिफिकेशन, स्टेबल क्यों है, अनस्टेबल क्यों है, कहाँ चला गया, उसके साथ क्या हो सकता है, एवरीथिंग, ऑल पॉसिबल परमिटेशन डिस्कस्ड और नॉट. हो जाएगा. अगेन अ रिक्वेस्ट, आपसे कहा था पढ़ के आना, नहीं पढ़ते हैं, फिर बता रहा हूँ. सब इजी है. ज्योग्राफी कैन बिकम वेरी वेरी स्कोरिंग इफ यू हैव अटेंडेड द क्लासेस एंड फॉलोड द इंस्ट्रक्शंस. आपको ये पूरा हफ्ता मिला था ये करने के लिए. प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ एयर मासेस. फ्रेंड्स पढ़ के आया. फ्रेंड्स भी बोला था मैंने. जल्दी बताओ. फ्रेंड्स पढ़ के आए हो? Have you read fronts? So tell me what are fronts and what is frontogenesis? What are fronts and what is frontogenesis? What are fronts and what is frontogenesis? और कुछ नहीं मिलता है तो डिक्शनरी से पढ़ लिया करो. Fronts and frontal regions and frontogenesis. What are these? That is my question. So front is a boundary between two air masses with different temperature. Very good, Sri Rakesh. When two different air masses meet, front process is formed. Frontogenesis, opposite characteristics. Gautam Vyas says boundary between two contrasting air masses. So everyone, I would want to use the word by Gautam Vyas, contrasting air mass. Bring it in your vocabulary. Formation of front is called frontogenesis. Okay, formation of front is called. Front is a boundary of two air mass. That's what Sadhana is saying. Sadhana absolutely okay, but जब two air mass है ना, उनको साथ में लिखना होगा. Two contrasting air masses. Is everyone with me on that? Front is boundary between two air masses of different temperature, humidity and density. See, Joy has written a big sentence. Joy, we can make it concise by writing front is a boundary between two contrasting air masses. Rather than saying difference between humidity, density, temperature, ये तो properties ही है ना. जैसे contrasting word आएगा, it will solve our problem. Is everyone with me on this? Okay, that's one thing. So is it, what kind of a boundary is this? Is it a point boundary or a linear line boundary or is it an aerial boundary? What is it? When you are defining, be comprehensive in your definitions. So front is a boundary. What kind of a boundary is it? Where, from where to where does it extend? Is it a point? Is it a line or is it an area? So now Amrendra is writing transition zone between two contrasting air masses. The process of formation is called frontogenesis. I'm happy with Amrendra's answer that he's calling it a transition zone. Yes, Prabhat is also saying aerial. अब एरियल के बाद मैं इसमें कह रहा हूँ वॉल्यूम कंपोनेंट है. इट्स अ ट्रांजिशन जोन एक्सटेंडिंग फ्रॉम द अर्थ सरफेस टू द ट्रोपोपॉज along the entire height of the air mass. ठीक है, एक जोन हो गया, ये भी होगा. What kind of a boundary is it? Is it a vertical boundary? Is it a vertical boundary? So people who are, some of you have read it and you are saying that, is it a vertical boundary? two air masses के बीच में एक boundary खड़ा हुआ है. Is it a vertical boundary? That's my question. It's a zone. I get that. It is a zone. It is not a point. It is not a line. It is a zone. I get that. Is it a vertical line? Is it a vertical boundary? Is it a vertical zone? ऐसा होता है दो एयर masses के बीच में? No, it is not a vertical zone. Then what kind of it is? I used to saying it is slanted. Okay, it's a slanting zone. Slanted zone, inclined. Can I use the word? It's an inclined boundary. Okay. Why slanted, and if slanted to which side? Sri Rakesh is saying vertical. No, Sri Rakesh, it's not vertical. It is slanting. It's an inclined zone of transition between two contrasting air masses. So it shows inclination of some angle. I get that, Vaishnavi. Why inclined and towards which side? There are two air masses, no? There are two air masses. So it is inclined towards the colder air mass. Very good. It is inclined towards the colder air mass. Good. See? Now, इतने सारे points आते हम मिस कर जाते. True or not? Inclined boundary slanted towards colder air mass. Why is it slanted towards colder air mass? Why? Why is it slanting towards colder air mass? सोच के बताओ. The force of air rises to cold air. Cold air is more dense and sink. Warm air is dense, has a tendency to rise up. Okay, okay, okay. तो पहली बात तो बच्चों, I have just thinking and writing. I have written a definition, not from a book, anything. Whatever we talked of till now, I've tried to summarize it. A three-dimensional, vertically inclined zone of transitional thermodynamic properties. Good technical language, comma, created at the boundary of two contrasting air masses. Do we get that? Frontal zone extends from the ground to tropopause, inclined towards the colder air mass. Okay. So ideally, if I have a cold air mass, this is my cold air mass, and this is my warm air mass. Okay. Now my warm air mass had a temperature of 40 degrees Celsius and it was moist. This was 10 degrees Celsius and dry. Now when they meet each other, a zone is created, which is neither the warm air mass nor the cold. It has transitional properties in between. Air being a poor conductor of heat, does not mix readily. Air does not mix readily, and as a result this is created. Okay. तो अगर मुझसे आप पूछेंगे यहां पर टेम्परेचर क्या होगा, तो टेम्परेचर माइट बी समवेयर मिडल ऑफ इट. What will be the temperature in this along this line? The temperature along this zone will be neither 40 nor 10. It will be 40 plus 10, 50 divided by 2, maybe 25 degree Celsius, and with moisture. So that is why, what did I say? Transitional properties. Did you understand what is transitional properties? Everyone, there is a meaning to every phrase that we are talking about. What is this? This is ground. And what is this? This is tropopause. This is tropopause. True or not? So extending from the ground to the tropopause, a zone of transition in which their properties are neither warm, neither 40 nor 10, neither moist nor dry, with some 25, with some moisture. This was probably very moist. Do you get that? That's the first part of it. The second part of it is that this is not a zone. This is not a zone that is vertical. Actually, the cold air mass, the cold air being heavier, tends to stay close to the ground, and the warm air, which is इस तरह का ये बनता है. So it's a slanting zone. It's not linear. It is slanting like true. ऐसा zone बनता है. We should be able to show it in diagrams also. Why is it slanting? Now, slanting has a reason also. कि भाई this is heavier, this has a tendency to stay close to the ground, this is lighter, this is a tendency to rise. That's one way of looking at it. Now tell me everyone, ऐसे ही मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ, if you remember the air masses from my previous class. Air mass ऐसा होता है. This is an air mass. And remember, air mass, the air is not uniformly distributed. If this is a cold air, what will happen? 80% will be down and 20% will be up. ऐसा हमने बात किया. ऐसे ना, नीचे ज्यादा molecules होते. Remember, we were talking about why most of the weather phenomena happen. Did we talk about this? ऊपर this thing. Now imagine if it is a warm air mass. Warm air mass will also have the air distribution like this. But what will happen is because the air expands, we will find that instead of 80, maybe 60% is here. And the air has expanded either 40. Remember, we were talking about what? We were talking about Why tropopause is higher at equator? Remember, convection happens. Warm air. Now this is surface, everyone. This is surface. A and B, which has more molecules? A with respect to B, which has more molecules? A and B, which has more molecules? Sir, A has more molecules at that height. If we are comparing this height, A has more molecules. More molecules means more air. More air means high pressure. And wind will always move from high to low. So cold air stays close to the ground and moves on the ground. Cold air has a tendency to move on the ground. आप देखोगे ये यहाँ पर थी. It has a tendency that it is moving on the ground. ये बहुत से लोगों को समझ में नहीं आता है. Cold air has a tendency to move on the ground. Ground में it will enter into the warm air because it is high pressure relative to this has got more molecules, that has got less molecules. Yes or no? Just to tell you, just to explain you this thing. अच्छा, अब इधर बताओ मुझे, at higher altitude which has more molecules? C and D. Two air masses next to each other. Which has more molecules? Out of C and D. Air had 100. Both of them had 100 molecules. इसमें क्या था? 80 were down because this was cold and only 20 up. But here, because it was warm, so convection was happening. इधर कितने? 40 है. Yes or no? So either more molecules, either less molecules. Can I say this is high pressure, this is low pressure? Air will have a tendency to move like this. Yes or no? So is it happening? This air which was till here, now it has a tendency to lighter air has a tendency to climb up and move there. Heavier air has a tendency to stay close to the ground and enter there. And when they are reaching here, they come to a state where a balance comes. Where a balance comes, both of them are happy. मैंने अपनी जगह ले ली, तूने अपनी जगह ले ली. That's okay. You sit there, I sit there. There is a zone of transition जिसमें we will not mix. Why we will not mix? Because you and I are different. I am India, you are Pakistan. Why should we mix? No. I don't see that you are working for the betterment of my country. You are talking such things which is against my country. तू अपनी जगह, मैं अपनी जगह, और घुसने की कोशिश की तो गोली मार दूंगा, बीच में एलओसी कर दूंगा. So ये this whole idea of front comes from the battle jargon कि ये वाला जो area है, this is called your frontal zone or region. Do you have the diagrams? Do you have the meaning of transitional properties? Do you have what is the meaning of inclined? Do you have where it is extending from ground to tropopause? Yes. Why it is there? Because air is a poor conductor of. इधर लिख लेंगे. Air does not mix readily. आसानी से मिलता नहीं है. So because the air does not mix readily, so it creates a zone of transition where we are into this. Do we get that? So such a zone after Second World War, was created in Germany. Germany was at the root of the war. Germany was at the root of the First World War, Second World War also. So this time after the Second World War, they said, "ये Germany नाटक करता है. Let us do one thing. Let us divide Germany into two parts. एक को यूएसए की तरफ दे दो. Half of it is US influence and half of it is Soviet influence." Yes. So there was a country called East Germany, or Germany was divided into East Germany under Soviets and West Germany under the US and allies. True. So Western Germany became more capitalist and Eastern Germany became more socialist, communist. Yes or no? And how were they separated? Invisible नहीं था. That was called the wall, the Germany wall of Germany. Yes, Berlin Wall बोलते थे उसको. Have you heard of that? So they erected a wall. इधर Russian influence, इधर ये. आप एक country नहीं बनोगे. When you become one country, you do drama. So that was the Berlin Wall. Get that? What happened to that wall? What happened to that wall? Later on the Germans realized, यार we are one. ये तो हमारे country, हमारी identity के लिए खतरा है. Then they said, okay, let us break that wall. All the differences in the heart and everything that melted. And what happened? दीवार तोड़ दिया. दीवार तोड़ दिया तो क्या हो जाएगा? No more front. People can move across. People can move across. Move across. Unification happens. So when we divided Germany, we created a wall that is called frontogenesis, the birth of a transition zone. And when those differences are over, because when two air masses come in contact with each other, they don't mix. But if you allow them to stay there for a prolonged duration of time, will the properties get exchanged or not? ये देखो नीचे से the cold air wants to enter, the upper air want to mix and all that. Will they mix or not? Gradually, what will happen? One side is 40 degrees Celsius, other side is 10 degrees Celsius, and the zone is 25 degree. But with time, what will happen? This frontal zone will start expanding. An entire thing will become what? 25 degrees, and the original ones are gone. That is called frontolysis. Lysis. Lysis. Frontolysis. Do we understand frontogenesis and frontolysis? What is it? Do you have diagrams also? क्या बुक में ऐसा डायग्राम बना रहा है? नहीं बना रहा है, बट मैं बना रहा हूँ. मेरा स्टूडेंट जानता है, और आपने अगर ये लिखा है फ्रंटल रीजन के बारे में, तो क्यों नहीं? But sir, we were studying front and you've told us frontal region. What is frontal? Then what is front? So this frontal region touches the tropopause and touches the ground. The area or the line where frontal zone touches the ground on a weather map, that is called a front. Front एक frontal zone के पैर को कहते हैं. The foot of a frontal zone where it touches the ground, that is the location of a front. क्योंकि front की location क्या है? It can be here also, it can be here also. Because if I have to show front on a weather map, how do I show it? Because its location is here. ये सब में हो सकता है कि नहीं हो सकता है? Front is extending this whole area. True or not? So how do I show it? On weather maps, what they do is, the place where it touches ground, that location is called the frontal zone, or front on a weather map. So that's why I did not write front, I have written frontal region. Actual right word or right phrase should be frontal zone or frontal region. It is a three-dimensional vertically inclined zone of transitional thermodynamic properties created at the boundary of two contrasting air masses. Is everyone okay? The diagram clear? And the air is this thing also. Okay? So a transition zone is created between India and Pakistan, and that is called the LOC. LOC बोलते हैं उसको? LOC बोलते हैं. On one side is Indian Army, on the other side is Pakistan Army, और बीच में LOC कर दिया. Yes? True? ऐसे चाइना के साथ भी हमने कर रखा है. क्या कर रखा है? LAC. चाइना के साथ एक LAC है. Have you heard of that? So at LOC, is there war happening? Is there a war happening, or we are not fighting? Between North Korea and South Korea, there was a prolonged war. And then they decided, okay, we will not have a war. ये हम दोनों के बीच में एक DMZ है. DMZ. Demilitarized zone. No military will enter this. इसमें घुसे तो that means a war. So can we have something instead of a boundary line? Can we have a zone which will be called as frontier zone? इसके अंदर लड़ाई नहीं करेंगे भाई. इधर तू अपना रख, मैं अपना रखता हूँ. Do we have a no man's land? No man's land, demilitarized zone, or LOC is not a line but there is the zone. Yes or no? Some tension is always there. Tension तो मीडिया भी मचा सकती है कि नहीं मचा सकती है? टेंशन तो बांग्लादेश के साथ मीडिया मचा सकती है. हम कह सकते हैं अरे बहुत सारी दिक्कत है. ट्रू. वी हैव ऑन आवर फोर्सेस, हमारे पास बॉर्डर BSF रहता है. इधर राजस्थान की तरफ हम बात कर रहे हैं, अरुणाचल की तरफ हम ITBP देखते हैं. यस और नो? उधर से भी बांग्लादेश की तरफ से बांग्लादेश के भी रहते हैं, पाकिस्तान की तरफ से पाकिस्तानी रेंजर्स रहते हैं. डू दे स्टे देयर और नॉट? Definitely, boundaries are to be protected. Frontier zones are to be guarded. उनमें conflict हो सकता है. But is that happening? No. कहाँ पर ये बाउंड्री तोड़ी है? कहाँ पर ये बाउंड्री तोड़ी है? Sir, this boundary was broken in Russia-Ukraine crisis. Russian forces entered Ukraine. That is a war. That is a war. True. Israel made announcements, pamphlet बंटवा दिए कि हम लेबनान में बॉम्बिंग करने वाले हैं. Vacate that space. Vacate that space. Israel bombing in Lebanon is war. Is an air mass entering. But India and Pakistan and a LOC is also frontal region, but there is no entry. Do we get that? None of us are getting into each other, so there is no war. So can I say, in case of Russia and Ukraine or Israel and Lebanon, Russia invaded, Israel invaded. Yes or no? Now, the reason may be whatever. Russia says, Ukraine is getting closer to NATO and it's a lies. Or Israel says that, all the Hezbollahs and all, हम लोग इसको बाहर करना चाहते हैं, हम अपनी सेफ्टी के लिए कर रहे हैं. रीजन कुछ भी हो. But did they enter into other person's territory or not? Whatever may be the reason, justified or not justified, I'm not going into the merit of it. Did they enter or not? So can I say India and Pakistan also have a frontal zone? And Israel and Lebanon also have a frontal zone. True. But when we are talking about India and Pakistan, nobody is breaching that frontal zone. So why there is a frontal zone between India and Pakistan? Two different countries. Remember, contrasting nations. Israel and say Saudi Arab. Israel and Saudi Arabia, Israel and Jordan. Islamic and non-Islamic, Jewish state. So contrasting, everyone okay with that? So when two air masses are standing next to each other, a front is formed. Do we get that? If none of the air mass is trying to invade each other's territory, that front is called stationary front. Do we get that? This is an example of stationary front. कोई भी घुसने की कोशिश नहीं कर रहा, उसने अपनी जगह ले ली, भाई मैं नीचे बैठ गया, हाथी नीचे लेट गया. And birds climbed on the elephant. Imagine birds का झुंड है और एक हाथी है. हाथी तो बैठ गया फैल के, भाई मैं बैठ रहा हूँ. Birds ने कहा हम भी बैठ रहे हैं, कुछ हाथी से दूर, कुछ हाथी के ऊपर चढ़ गए. Is everyone okay? This is called stationary front. But in case of Ukraine, Russia or Israel, Lebanon, one party tried to enter. Now, if that happens, the front will not be called as stationary front. The name of the front will change. And the name will be dependent on which air tried to enter. If cold air is the aggressor air mass, cold air entered the warm one. Remember the think about the Canadian blizzard. Canadian blizzard is cold air entering into the warm. CP entering into tropical areas. Yes, that will be called as a cold front. If cold air is trying to enter, then that will be called as cold front. But if warm air is trying to enter into a cold area. Say for example, India right now is cold. India में तो winters आ रहे, yes or no? But from Bay of Bengal, warm air is trying to enter. Yes? So ये क्या हो गया? Warm air trying to enter, that's a warm front. Is everyone okay? Cold front and warm front. There are three types of fronts which I have told you. One is stationary front. Stationary means none of the air masses want to enter. Second one is if the warm front tries to enter, that is called warm front. Warm air mass tries to enter. And if a cold air mass tries to enter, that is called cold front. Is everyone okay? Frontal zone समझ में आ गया? Front समझ में आया? So let's write down what is a front. Frontal zone we are done. Now actual the right word should be frontal zone, but what is a front? A linear boundary between two air masses as shown on a weather map. Get that? Front is actually the area where the frontal zone or region touches ground. It is of four types. It is of four types: stationary front, warm front, cold front, occluded front. Stationary front and their symbol on what is the symbol on weather map? So stationary front का symbol ये होता है warm front का symbol cold front का symbol and occluded front का symbol is everyone okay? Frontogenesis, frontolysis. Friends are named after the aggressor air mass. जो भी लिखना था फ्रंट के बारे में वो सब यहाँ पर एक ही जगह पर लिख दिया है. The nomenclature stationary front, warm front, cold front, occluded front, 1, 2, 3, 4 तरह के फ्रंट्स भी हो गए. Everyone with me on this? What are we supposed to understand is what is a front, how are they formed, where are they formed, and what are the weather associated with it. That's what we need to understand. What is a front? That is frontogenesis, how it is created, when will they come in contact. So air mass से हमें पता चल जाता है air mass, moving of air mass. When the air mass moves from its source region to a new region, already an air mass is there. When they will come in contact, they will create a difference. Yes, sir. And then what will happen? They will create a particular weather. So that is what they are talking about कि उस weather के बारे में बताएं. That's what we are supposed to understand. When an air mass moves out of its region of origin, it will carry its temperature and moisture conditions. Air mass will get modified. It will either be warmed or cooled, or there will be addition or loss of moisture, which we have already done in the table. Table tells us makes it better. और फिर हम देखते हैं कि वहाँ पर क्या होने वाला है modification. Thermodynamic process is about stability and instability. I have already told you. The extent to which an air mass is modified will depend upon its initial characteristics. So initial characteristic, was it very cold, Cp, Mp, Mt, it will depend on that. Underlying surface, where it is going, that will also be there. What is the path followed by the air mass? Is the path followed, like a very plain area, or are there mountains in that? Is it the ocean, no friction or something of that sort? And the speed at which it moves. So these are multiple things which a meteorologist has to keep in mind. You don't have to keep in mind. But आपके लिए broad factors, air, what factors impact the modification of air mass? So first of all, the air mass itself. Second is the underlying surface or the source region कैसा है. Third is when it will move, what kind of a terrain is it going to move, and third is how long does it take to move. So resulting from upward and dynamic a downward movement, we will find that air mass are sometimes rising, they are sometimes sinking. We've already talked about what is sinking of air mass, rising of air mass, and on the mountains they will be lifted, there will be windward side, leeward side. Now this is what comes in the books. I've already given you the understanding of it. Books में ऐसी language use होती है, so that is why I'm saying that air masses are not just modified because they come in contact with a warm surface or a cold surface. If the air mass is forced to rise up, remember adiabatic processes will kick in. Adiabatic processes will cause cooling, or when it is sinking it will cause heating. So those are called mechanical dynamisms. So air mass can modify on many fronts. That is why I gave you a table, and you can use that table. Apart from that, some information which I am sharing with you, that at places where there is convergence of air will be forced to lift up. So that's a mechanical rising which happens at equator. That will change the air mass. At the front also there will be rising which will create a change in the air mass. So lifting and sinking are the processes which we are talking about. So tabular explanation, we have already talked about that. Hypothetical continent also, I have already talked about that. Now associated weather changes, have I given you a discussion on that? So this is my plan of things, how I will take it to my students about air masses. This I have done with you. This is how that blizzard comes. So minus 46, it comes at minus 46, minus, इसको क्या करता है, minus 33, minus 29, minus, imagine Houston which is on the coast of Gulf of Mexico, where almost Tropic of Cancer is here, the temperature goes to minus 4 degrees Celsius. This is just to tell you an example of how CP air mass modifies global climates. Can you see heat exchange happening? So sometimes it happens that the students have a theoretical understanding. I've brought you some empirical data also. These are the fronts. Fronts are boundary surfaces that separate air masses of different densities, one of which is usually warmer, contains more moisture. These are zones. that separate relatively narrow. They are relatively narrow, show lines on weather maps. On maps, they are as lines. Air mass located on one side of the front moves faster. Fronts do not form suddenly, they form gradually. And that gradual process of formation of front is called frontogenesis. This term was given by Tor Bergeron. Remember Bergeron process? Tor Bergeron was the first person to use this term frontogenesis, which refers to the creation of new fronts. Later on, पहले तो उनका जो नए fronts बनते हैं उनके लिए, but later on when we knew more about the fronts, he said ठीक है पुराने जो fronts हैं वो भी उनको भी अगर दोबारा से फॉर्म हो रहे हैं, those are called frontogenesis. Frontolysis on the contrary is the process of destruction or death of a front. I did not use the word destruction or death, I purposefully used the word dissolution. एक front dissolve हो जाएगा, vanish हो जाएगा, that is called frontolysis. How does it happen? We'll look at that also. So these are the air masses. Remember the air masses Cp, Mp, Ct, Mt. When they come in contact with each other, the cold, warmer one will stay close to the ground. Cold, heavier one will stay close to the ground. This is the one. Remember, इधर नीचे ही रहेगा. But the warm air will have a tendency to rise up. And when it rises up, there will be this. What is this? Adiabatic cooling and cloud formation. Will cloud formation produce rain? So rain is also happening. So what will be the impact of a front? Front will produce rain. Yes. Front will also, imagine this air was like this. This air mass was vertical. But what has happened? The tendency of the cold air to enter into this region. So when it entered this region, will it reduce the temperature of this part? It reduces the temperature of this part. इधर क्या हो जाएगा? इधर warm air will try to enter like this. So this is what we have to understand, the weather associated with fronts. और अभी तो क्या है? It can be a stationary air. Stationary front में तो none of them is trying to push the other one. But in case of a front where the air is actually moving, we'll see that the warm one is constantly approaching warm air. So this is approaching warm air, means warm air is going like that, receding cold air. Cold air was going over there. So who's trying to enter this time? Warm air is trying to enter. So this is called warm front because the aggressor is warm air. If the cold was trying to enter this side, then we would have called it cold front. Both of them have impact on the climate, and differently we'll understand that. When contrasting air masses have convergent movement, the frontogenesis occurs. Because if they ask you to write something on frontogenesis, क्या लिखोगे? So दो contrasting air mass जब साथ में आते हैं, frontogenesis is likely to occur when the convergence of wind towards a point or a line is happening. Yes. So where we have talked about such regions, सोच के बताइए कहाँ पर सोचा है हमने? If you remember 30 degree latitude, 30 degree latitude is a zone where the winds are going away. एक westerly जा रहा है, एक trade wind आ रहा है. That's a zone of divergence. So is 30 degree latitude good for frontogenesis? No, sir, वहाँ तो अलग जा रहे हैं. So that is not. So which one will be better? जहाँ पर मिलेंगे. Let's jump to 60 degree latitude. At 60 degree latitude, westerlies are coming from 30 and polar easterlies are coming from 90. That's the zone where they will meet. So can you see, at one place air is forced to go away and other place air is forced to come closer. Simple. Both are examples of, one of them is frontogenesis, other is frontolysis. Tell me which one is frontogenesis. Frontogenesis कौन से latitude में होगा? Because we are more interested in the geography of it rather than the meteorology of it. Quickly tell me. Frontogenesis कौन से latitude में होगा? Frontolysis कौन से में होगा? So 60 is about frontogenesis. Yes, Kaushik, Gautam, Manish, all correct. And 30 is about lysis. Yes or no? The temperature contrast in converging air mass is another more important prerequisite. So yeah, it should be, the two air masses must be contrasting. ऐसा नहीं कि similar ही कर दिया आपने. The convergence of air masses with different temperatures and density is conducive to frontogenesis, the region of cyclonic wind shift or cyclonic wind shear, और जहाँ पर low pressures होते हैं like 60 degrees a low pressure belt, that is there. Frontolysis, regions of divergent air flow. Air mass should move away from each other and the temperature contrast between them should diminish. Anticyclonic air flow is the area where we have this. So where are anticyclones created? They are created in 30-degree belt. Where are cyclones, temperate cyclone created? They are created in the 60-degree front, which is called the polar front. Is everyone with me on this? अब ये cold front है. Remember, the cold air is trying to enter. So this is the cold front. As the cold air goes, it will cause rain. And can you see the symbol also? This is warm front. Warm air is pushing and warm is trying to enter into the cold area. So this is a warm front and they will have their influence. अब ये picture हम कैसे देख रहे हैं? We are looking at it from the top. This is the top view. But there is a side view also. इसी को अगर side से देखना हो, एक तरफ warm, एक तरफ cold होगी. अभी क्या है? We are looking from the top. So from the top I can see, okay, cold air is entering this warm region and this is the cold front. In this warm air is entering this cold region, that's there. I'm looking from the top view. Yes, if we are looking at the sectional or side view, it is this. Can you see this? Warm air moves above. So this is the warm air trying to move. And can you see warm air ऊपर से ही आएगी? Warm air ऊपर से घुसेगी. The slant is always towards the cold. But in this one, what is happening? The cold air is going to move. The cold air wants to move here and the warm air will be pushed up. The cold air moves. So whosoever is the invader will be there. So अब इसमें क्या होगा? Imagine this is the same city. This city received a warm front. What will happen to the temperature? Quickly you will see the red area will come here. So what will happen to the temperature of this city? Because warm front is coming. What will it do to the temperature? Quickly tell me. This city was there and a warm front approached it. Warm front came onto it. So the temperature will rise. In the same city, when the cold front came, the cold front is going to bring, the temperatures will fall. Yes or no? Acha. Tell me, if the temperature rises, air ki moisture holding capacity will increase. So can the moisture also change? Yes. Here when the temperature falls down, will the moisture holding capacity reduce? Yes or no? And at this zone where the air is forced to rise, are clouds created or not? So will the clouds create rain in these two or not? Now rain also is different for each air mass. Rain for each front is different. इसका आप देखोगे slant is different, the slant is different, so we'll look at that also. Is everyone okay? So stationary front is when the two air masses are standing next to each other. Warm front, when a surface position of a front moves so that warmer air invades the territory of the colder air. Cold front, cold air actively advances into the region occupied by the warm air, that is called the cold front. Occluded front is the fourth type which I have not talked today. In this, cold air is overtaking a warm air. So that is not, we have not talked about this. That's what we are talking about. ये आपका warm front होता है. Warm air is trying to enter and you can see the slope is very gentle. The characteristic slope of a warm front is very gentle. We'll talk about this tomorrow, weather associated with the front. But when we are talking of a cold front, can you see the slope is almost vertical? The slope is steeper. In this, the cold air is trying to enter. And the clouds, can you see, are the cumulonimbus clouds. इसमें क्या थे? They were mostly stratus types. There is a situation where cumulonimbus will form. Oh, we will talk in the next class, but that's what we are talking about. Do we get to see these fronts? ऐसे visible होते हैं? Are the fronts visible or invisible? Are the fronts visible or invisible? There is a warm front. Warm front means पीछे से warm air आ रही है. Cold front is there, पीछे से cold air is coming. Are they visible? Is the boundary visible or is it an invisible boundary? So the boundary is invisible. The air doesn't have any color, no? So boundary is invisible. But at the boundary, weather events happen. Remember, clouds form. So clouds will tell us what is the boundary. Do we get that? So indirectly, clouds will tell us. And which clouds are cold front पे clouds are very towering clouds. So cold front के clouds तो एकदम अलग से दिख जाएंगे. ये ऐसे दिखाई देता है cold front. Imagine. This is how the cold front is. उधर से ठंडी हवा आ रही है, इधर वार्म होगा, ऐसे दीवार दिख जाती है यार. यस सर, मैंने कभी नहीं देखी, आपकी तरफ आता नहीं, बिकॉज आवर वेदर इज नॉट वेरी फ्रंटल वेदर. ट्रॉपिकल वेदर इज नॉट फ्रंटल. डू वी गेट दैट? So we can actually see that the front is approaching, and once this crosses, उसके बाद तो ठंडी हवा है आपके ऊपर. True or not? And the last one, occluded में तो क्या होता है? There is one warm front, there is one cold front, and one front will overtake another front. So ये एक फ्रंट है, ये दूसरा फ्रंट है, ये उसमें जाकर दूसरे की पोजीशन ले लेता है. You can see the cold air is moving and it is eating into this front. This one was cold front, this one was warm front. Now what happens is the cold front overtakes the warm front. ये cold front आ रहा है, it is coming, ये started eating the warm front. This is occlusion. So occlusion is about three air masses: cold air mass, warm air mass, and cool air mass. So I'll be talking about that in the next class. Is everyone okay? So I wanted to finish fronts also in today's class, but I've just given you an introduction. The important question that we get is, what is frontogenesis? What is frontolysis? I hope I have told you. The types of fronts also I have told you. The question is about what is the weather associated, that I have to explain to you, and what is occlusion. ये करेंगे. So tomorrow's class, tomorrow we have a class. Yes, if they have not scheduled it, I will ask them to schedule a class tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. हाँ, तुम्हारी तो Tuesday को लगती है ना. So tomorrow's class is there. Tomorrow we will do this and we will go into jet streams. That's where we will end our basic one. And Wednesday, as I told you, for your doubts, I don't know, I asked Aditi to continue with her geomorphology. People who missed the classes, जो gap होते हैं, please make sure you cover up in the gap. So I understood that cold air mass infiltrates warm air due to pressure difference, but what made the warm air mass to infiltrate the cold air mass? ठीक है, so गौतम का ये question है. Let me answer this, and everyone you will be surprised at this silly mistake which people do that. So kindly confirm strategy class in GS is on Tuesday or Wednesday. Tomorrow Kirti, tomorrow. आज GS में class नहीं रखी है मैंने because my optional classes suffered. ये जो हमारा scheduling में error हो रहा था, so I have deliberately kept it only for optional. तो GS उसके बाद करेंगे, ठीक है. So Kritika, GS strategies tomorrow. All students who are in the offline batch में है या online batch में, offline वाला, you have an opportunity, come and we will talk about this. So tomorrow is Tuesday, no? Yeah, Tuesday we are going to have that. So are we going to have optional general geography, or will do or not? Optional की जनरल ज्योग्राफी होती क्या है? What is general geography, everyone? General geography is lithosphere, atmosphere, जो भी पढ़ा रहा हूँ. Do you think you need to do atmosphere in a general GS class? Chinmay, think about it. I am teaching climate there also. I am teaching climate here also. Think about it, Chinmay. After doing this, is it any sense to go there and understand that what is atmosphere, what is evaporation? तो ये तो यहाँ करवा दूंगा ना. World geography, I requested you to attend in the GS classes because there are a lot of factual things which I skip in optional. Optional में उतना factual नहीं है ना, so that's there. Okay, so now we have a question coming from Gautam. Think about it. So Gautam's question is, sir, I understand that there is a cold air. I understand that there is a cold air and this side is a warm air. Yes, I understand that this one moves like this. But sir, how is it possible that if there is warm air and there is cold air, how is it possible that warm air is going towards this. This will be called as a warm front, yes or no? The symbol will be this. This will be called as a cold front. और मैं बताऊं, ये कई कोचिंग करने वाले स्टूडेंट्स को नहीं पता इसका आंसर. This is the cold front. So there is an air mass 1, air mass 2, air mass 3, air mass 4. And Gautam has a question, sir. I understand that cold air will be high pressure. From high pressure, the air is going to warm. I understand this, sir. This is my understanding. But इधर तो सर ये तो लो होगा, ये तो लो होगा, फिर ये इधर कैसे जा सकता है? तो वार्म फ्रंट तो कभी बन ही नहीं सकता. Everyone, valid question. Gautam has a valid question. And many people are told in their coachings, हाँ ये मान के चलो इसमें क्या हुआ है, जल्दी से बताओ. ऐसा क्यों है? The sun movement drives air masses. Amrendra. Gautam, did I get your question correct? सोच के बताना, क्वेश्चन में वैलिडिटी थी, दैट्स व्हाई आई हैव टेकन द क्वेश्चन. एंड अगेन सेइंग, आई एम नेमिंग गौतम. अभी किसी को लग रहा है रोस्ट कर दिया, वो कर दिया. कम आउट ऑफ दोस सिली इनसिक्योरिटीज दैट यू हैव. बच्चा बनना बंद करो. लर्न टू सी लाइफ इजीली. क्विकली टेल मी. Amrinder is saying sun movement drives it. Quickly, I'm waiting for the answer. So warm mass as high altitude moving down to low latitude. मैं क्या था, तुम्हें कुछ भी नहीं पता है, छोड़ो. So everyone, this is the country. This is the country. And country has different regions. Or this is the continent. This is the continent, has different regions. Okay? It has some regions which are warm. It has some regions which are cold. Some regions which are warm. Get that? Kalim Ansari, सब गलत है. कुछ दिमाग नहीं लगा रहे हो. As I said ना, people don't have basics. So अब क्या हुआ? Vaishnavi, it might depend on topography. So you have not understood anything on air masses, बिटिया. Air masses are from ground to the surface. तो टोपोग्राफी से नहीं बनते हैं ये एयर मासेस हैं. आप इमेजिन भी नहीं कर रहे हैं, आप सिर्फ किताबें पढ़ रहे हैं, इसलिए मैं बता रहा हूँ. एंड यू विल बी अशेम्ड ऑल ऑफ यू व्हेन यू गेट द रीजन. और जो खासकर कोचिंग्स पहले करके आए, एयर मास विल मूव एंड मूव only because of one force, one and only one force, pressure difference. Pressure difference, just that. अगर यहाँ पर लो प्रेशर है, if there is a low pressure 900 millibar, तो एयर मास 1, एयर मास 2, एयर मास 3, एयर मास 4, सबके सब, all of them will move to fill it up. Now what happened was, this air mass was moving at a speed of 12 kilometer per hour. This one was moving at 10 kilometer per hour. बन गया, बन गया warm front. Yes. This one is moving at, say for example, 15 kilometer per hour. And this one is moving at whatever may be moving, ये 12 kilometers per hour पे चल रहा है. ये तो तुम सोच रहे हो ना ये ठंडा है, ठंडे से गर्म में जा रहा है। एयर मास को कुछ नहीं पता, एयर मास कहीं और चल रहा है भाई। अब एक बात बताओ यहाँ पर, प्रैक्टिकल भी बताता हूँ वही ना, नो विजुअलाइजेशन ओनली कोचिंग नोट्स, सर पहाड़ होगा ये होगा। एक बैठा हुआ है यहाँ पर मजे से, मैरीटाइम पोलर, ये सुनो, एंड दिस इज कॉन्टिनेंटल पोलर। कॉन्टिनेंटल पोलर, ऑब्वियसली कॉन्टिनेंट इज हाई प्रेशर, ऑब्वियसली कॉन्टिनेंट इज हाई प्रेशर, सो नेचुरली कॉन्टिनेंट से ओशन पे जाना चाहिए। बट एक लो प्रेशर बना हुआ है यहां पर मदेरा पर, बड़ा लो प्रेशर बना हुआ है, तो ये दोनों के दोनों इधर चलेंगे कि नहीं चलेंगे? विल बोथ ऑफ देम स्टार्ट मूविंग हेयर और नॉट? अब बताओ, दिस इज वार्म, दिस इज कोल्ड एयर मास, and if the speeds are different, if the movement of this speed is 10 and this one is 12, ये 12 पे चल रहा है, ये 10 पे चल रहा है, रियल बता रहा हूं आपको, ऑटोमेटिकली वार्म फ्रंट बन जाएगा। बन गया, कुछ नहीं लगा, कुछ भी नहीं लगा। बट हम लोग, मैंने कहा ना, इसलिए आपसे कहा कि क्लाइमेटोलॉजी पढ़ाना इज अ चैलेंज, बिकॉज उसमें बच्चा इमेजिन नहीं करता, इतना इजी चीज है। और हम लोग तो ये पढ़े नहीं थे, we did not read this, we started our this thing learning with this on the oceans where we will show, वो आ रहा है आपके पास एयर मास, ये ठंडा एयर मास है, यहाँ साइक्लोन आ रहा है, सी योर शिप, कीप योर शिप सेफ, कीप योर कार्गो ऑल्सो सेफ। हम लोग वहां से आते हैं। वेन वी कम हियर द कोचिंग वालाज, ये डायग्राम बना के बच्चे को कुछ भी बता रहा है, बड़ा बड़ा बात बता रहा है, कुछ भी फंडा, एंड बढ़िया, एग्जाम में नहीं आता है तो कोई बात नहीं, अगली बार मेरे नोट्स, एंड दे गिव एडवर्टीजमेंट एवरी ईयर, 30% of our course is upgraded। एक बात बताओ, 30% कोर्स, what is happening in the subject that 30% upgrade is needed? ऑप्शनल में तो वैसे ही इतना अपग्रेड नहीं चाहिए होता। ऑप्शन में if something new happens, that's just an example, no new example has been added। Geography as a concept has been existing for a long long time, how can it change? तो ये वो कोचिंग वाले होते हैं जिन्होंने अपने नोट्स दिए, इनके नोट से इस बार नहीं आया तो अगली बार उसका ऐड कर देते हैं, PYQ ऐड करते हैं, दे कॉल इट एज दिस थिंग। अननेसेसरी की रिसर्च करेंगे और फंडा देंगे, बट ठीक है, दैट्स हाउ बिजनेस गोज, नो, बिजनेस सेंस इज गुड फॉर देम, दैट्स अ गुड थिंग फॉर बिजनेस। अब समझ में आया, इसका कुछ मतलब ही नहीं बनता था, सर ये ठंडा तो गर्म की तरफ जा सकता है, गर्म कैसे आया? नहीं, गर्म ना ठंडे की तरफ आया। इट वॉज नॉट दैट, सी इट्स लाइक अ गर्ल कमिंग क्लोजर टू यू एंड यू वंडरिंग, यार मेरी तरफ लड़की आ कैसे सकती है? तुम्हारी तरफ नहीं आ रही थी, पीछे शाहरुख खान खड़ा हुआ था, वो शाहरुख खान की तरफ ऐसे हाथ हिलाती हुई चली आ रही थी। आई डू अंडरस्टैंड दैट, थोड़ा सा विश्वास करो, तुम्हारी तरफ भी आ रही, नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ लो प्रेशर, देयर इज समथिंग एल्स। डू वी गेट दैट? सो आज 11:30 तक क्लास लिया, आई होप द टॉपिक हैज गॉन टू यू, एंड माई रिक्वेस्ट अगेन स्टेज, fall in love with your books, it is your dream, आपने एग्जाम पास करना है, आई एम योर फैसिलिटेटर इन दिस, मेरा काम है इन क्वेश्चंस को आंसर करना। अब मैंने बोल दिया ऐसे लड़की जो है देख कर जा रही थी और पीछे शाहरुख खान है, रोस्ट कर दिया, रोस्ट कर दिया, अरे सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर भी कुछ होता है, तुम्हारे पास नहीं है कोई बात नहीं, जिसके पास है उसको तो मत परेशान करो, कैन वी बी हैप्पी अबाउट इट? भगवान ने दिया है तो रखना चाहिए कुछ सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर। We should be able to laugh at ourselves also and laugh at the situational humor that is generated. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Jai Hind. GS क्लास कल होगी, स्ट्रेटेजी क्लास।